Peace, peace, peace. So now is the wisdom of Almighty. When you said you had heard me say no grain, starch, soy, dairy, sugar, and you said, yeah, but don't the original man eat grain? All right. So now to really understand, to answer that question, you have to understand something first. The first thing you need to understand is wisdom, myself, divine cipher, master, and then knowledge, cipher. Right? I'm going to say that again. You got to get to the wisdom, myself, divine cipher, master degree, and the knowledge, free cipher. Or my bad. If you're in the free cipher, then you need wisdom, build, or destroy. Right? That's like saying, Master Asiatic now, born wisdom, build, or destroy. And then we go right to the wisdom, build, or destroy degree in the knowledge, free cipher. Understand that. And understand the second degree in the 1 to 10. And then I'll say this after that. So Bayer, Monsanto, Cisco, any of those places that love genetically modified organisms, organisms, pesticides, conventionally grown. The fruit had 4 numbers, right? When you eating grain in today's society, that's what you're eating. So what happened was the knowledge of self classes that were dealing with nutrition was making it, or made it easy for you to follow the rules and regulations. So like in the old days, we knew not to eat swine, but they also had rules and regulations to it that you seen the degree, and they showed you all the different words that mean swine, like gelatin. We knew not to eat jello and all of that, right? See what I'm saying? So that's why. So yes, in the old days, the original man mostly would have dealt with pseudo grain. And the kings and queens and all those pharaohs and prominent people, merchants, farmers that had well-to-do or did well in the farming game and in the agricultural world or the economic world, in the ancient world I'm talking about now. So mostly they would use pseudo cereals, which have the same weight capacity as grain, but it doesn't have to be prepared the same way. You have to do is soak that. But when you have grain, you have to prepare it a certain way because you have to change the proteins so that the human body can digest them. You can't digest that protein. The grain that you see today, you can't digest it, so you're just eating it, but you're not getting anything out of it. And then it's poison to the physical composition. Because if you know and understand 120, when you see these words, grain, starch, soy, dairy, sugar, just say to yourself, that means sugar. And if you know and understand the degree, right, how to eat to live, sugar is poison to the original man's physical composition. It's a drug. It's like heroin. See? So you don't want to eat sugar 5 times a day. What kind of shit is that, Lord? Right? So to correct the damage, now we go back into the degrees, right? So to correct the damage of 379 years ago, which would be at the date of this writing, then that would take me into the 1 to 36, right? So to correct the 1 to 36 damage, not that you correcting the 1 to 36, but the damage that was done to you that the 1 to 36 is telling you about, teaching you about. My name is W.F. Muhammad, right? Which means my name is Divine Understanding, born of law. I came to the wilderness, North America, by myself. I came out the womb of the original woman as a firstborn male. See, that's how you manifest it. 379 years ago, 1555. We know that's more than that, and we know after that, Jim Crow was in effect when lessons was being made manifest. When 120 was being made manifest as supreme wisdom in those days. It was being made manifest. It hadn't turned into 120. It didn't grow up into 120. And so, even in that, you had the rules and regulations for diet, food. You have to have that. You can't have knowledge of self and the European colonizer been controlling your food. When he captured you, he didn't give you your food that you ate. He gave you what he wanted you to eat. And then after so many centuries, you think that's right and exact to eat. And you justify it. It's almost like they'll say something like, yeah, but Christianity really started in Africa, and so I'm not chasing no European God. And I'm saying that's like a play on words when you say that. Because we all know that you don't even have an Ethiopian Bible, much less are you practicing the Ethiopian form of Jesus from those ancient times. You're practicing something that came after Martin Luther. It's not, what you're practicing didn't even come from Constantinople, Constantine, Byzantine Empire, 1452. It ain't even coming from that. What you're studying is not even Martin Luther. You're not even studying the Protestant movement. You don't even know. What you're studying is after England took over Alaska to Chile, right? After England did that, because you could say, yeah, the Spanish countries, the Portuguese, they got South America, but they not really running Alaska to Chile. They in it. They don't run it really. It's really ran by England runs it, more so than I would say Spain. See what I'm saying? And Portugal. Portugal might be running Brazil, but who's more powerful, the English in the 50 states or, see what I'm saying? End is that, right? As soon as you see it from that perspective, you get an understanding of what I'm saying, right? All right. So, when they say that cop out, oh, it started with the original man in Asia Minor, Africa, and all that, whatever they term they're using to tell you that it's Ethiopia, and then you go look at their King James version. Stop, you're killing me. Because they'll pull out a King James version, they'll be saying that, and in their King James version, you'll see white Jesus, and they'll be going, well, color don't matter. Then why you got a white one? I just don't understand. If it don't matter, why is yours white? Why does yours look like the colonizer? Why is yours the same one that you was using when you was in the plantation? See, that's all I'm saying. Like, look at it. See what you're doing. If you wanted to say, well, I wanted to go back to the original Christianity that was before the European colonizer colonized it, because he colonized it and took it. It's his shit now. That shit that he's teaching you, man, listen. The version of Christianity that you learn, it was born in America, because most of y'all are either Baptist or Pentecostal. Both of the Pentecostal, that's those two, that brother and the sister. I mean, the black man and the white man. They got together, and that's how you got Pentecostal. Saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. They don't dance. Everything is no makeup, all that, right? I don't even know if they still doing that with their children, but it's supposed to be no makeup, your real nails, your real hair, and they not all flashy and showing their gear and coming to church all fly and everything, where the Baptist was more like upper middle class, and their thing was they get dressed a lot better than, and they had more money and like that. But at the end of the day, then they evangelists and all them. So that's pretty much still, at the end of the day, that's still coming out of a Protestant movement that started with Martin Luther, the German. And then you get Wycliffe. That's when you see the 551 years. That's what they're talking about when it's in the lesson saying 551 years ago. It's talking about Wycliffe. That's still England. and you got the English or England's version of the Roman Catholic Church. They got their own version, Anglican and all this ecclesiastical. That's England, and then and then and then you have the American Christianity: Mormon, Jehovah Witness, Baptist, Pentecostal. That pretty much. That's what. And if you're talking about our people, I'm talking about us. What's black people? They very few black people is Mormon. I knew a couple of black people is Mormon that I knew at the Justice Cipher born. They was Mormon, but most of them will be Pentecostal or Baptist, and Jehovah Witness. Right? That's what's going down. All of those are American-born institutions or institutionalization of Christianity. The European Christianity institutionalization of Christianity is the Protestant movement coming out of Germany and Roman Catholic Church coming out of Rome, right? And then you got the Eastern Orthodox, right? In Constantinople, all that. And then before that, you got the Turks and the Arabian Peninsula and all those Arabs or descendants of Arabs or people that got conquered by the Arabs or got converted over by the Arabs or whatever the case may be, they bearing witness to the Prophet Muhammad, right? And the same way that the colonizer bared witness to the Prophet Jesus, so the Arabs had Muhammad, right? They bared witness to him. And Bilal is showing and proving it to all of that shit, everything that has anything to do with spirituality, all of it came from the original people. We already know that. But the version that you're under is not ran by them. Therefore, it doesn't have their culture, their creed. It's not their C on it. Now, that's why I said, even in America, the original people in the wilderness, North America, who have lamb's wool that practice the Baptist and Pentecostal and Jehovah Witness, is their version of it, their version of Pentecostal and Baptist. If you go to the original people's church and then you go to a European church, that should be like night and day. Totally different. It do not be the same. It don't move the same, none of that. Because when they was doing Pentecostal and Baptist, they were the slave masters or people who weren't slave masters, but they were still Europeans and colonizers' children that just didn't have slaves, but they were still riding with, you are a slave. Right? And so you can see Kunta Kinte. Go watch Alex Haley Roots. Better yet, read the book, Alex Haley Roots. You'll get a better understanding of what really went down. And then you'll understand why I say you got a slave name, which is your surname. You say you got an honorable name, honorable because your parents gave it to you, but it ain't right and exact because it still comes from the slave master. That's your first name. Right? You be carrying that slave name. You be in change your first name. Children, made sure the children got righteous first names. Their last name still be slave master, see? They don't know how to say, okay, I once was this and now I'm this. And so that way, if we need to trace it back, you'll know how to trace it. Because you can't trace it back to so far because after a certain point, they destroy most of the records. It's hard for you to trace it back. You can trace back DNA, RNA, but you can't actually find your people until the data bank is full, and then you don't even know if they lying. I mean, you don't really know. Like, they saying that they doing it, but then if you really want to, you need to study DNA and RNA and do the test your damn self. You do and then go to their data bank and look yourself. You could do that and double it up and make sure that's right and exact, right? So those are remedies, right? So what's the remedy? He said, well, divine, you usually can help repair. It doesn't matter which one they go with. They could be with Muhammad. They could be with Moses. They could be with Jesus. Doesn't matter to me. But I can show you how to really do it. Like, they not doing it. They just say they doing it. But they all down with Sodom and Gomorrah. They not doing it. Trust me, they not doing it. And the Asiatics that think they doing it, they not doing it because they doing a version of what the slave master taught them. They might have modified it here and there, but it's pretty much what he gave them. And so they not doing it. They just think they doing it. They yelling and hollering and praying to Jesus, but that ain't his name. See, you calling the wrong name. His name ain't Jesus. But I know who you trying to call, but that ain't his name. So right there, you messing up. You can't call John and think Ramel gonna answer. You keep saying John and you looking that way. Because you think John over there, he done showed you where John is. And you go over there doing that. So that's why it's all confused and everybody's gone. In the back of your mind, you know that shit's supposed to be us. You know it because you'll say something like a cop-out. Oh, that's what the dude said. He said, well, I don't believe in that. I'm giving you a cop-out answer because we all know that the Christianity started with the original man. But that version you doing is grafted. That's why I say you got to know and understand the wisdom, myself, divine, cipher, master, build to destroy degree in 1 to 40, and you need to know the second degree. They be knowing about the first degree. They don't be bearing witness to the second degree fully. They still be programmed too. Knowledge of self and not knowledge of self. Still got that program, and it's still there. How do you know? This is what you do. Go and sit down on your most busiest street and count how many original women you see walk by with original woman hair. We ain't even gonna go into the nails, the eyes, toes, and all that other crazy shit they doing. I'm just saying that part. And then see how many men come by with original hair. See, they ain't. So if our women are still trying to make their hair look like the European standard of beauty hair, then we still lost. We lost. We done. We still cooked. We haven't come out of that yet. Okay? Only the man came out of it. She hasn't come out of it. I mean, you see a couple of people down south and some people on the West Coast, they still want to fry and dye. But most dudes ain't doing that no more. They know that's corny. You trying to look like the colonizer. Trying to make your hair look like the colonizer's hair. So that when you walking straight and they can't see your hands or your neck or nothing, they just see your hair. They don't know if you're European or not. That's what you're trying to do. You still know what you're doing, and it's Stockholm Syndrome. Who made you hate your hair? You be trying to figure out what your nationality is, because the UN changes nationalities depending on world wars and how it go down. All right, so now you know that nationalities today wasn't the same yesterday. Shit been changing every time the European whichever colonizer won the war, he changed it to this shit now. That's how it went down, right? If Germany would have won, y'all would have been speaking German. And you'd have had different borders, and they would have thought that was nationality. Right? Germany tried to get at them twice. Right? He came for their throat 2 times. That was it, right? And if you start going back, they been coming for them. Because of Rome and Greece. They been at that. That war been around. That ain't no new war. When you saw World War I, World War II, they just make you think it was new. They've been fighting since Rome. Remember when they go watch Gladiator, the first part of it when he's the general. Watch that part. Those people that they fighting up in them hills and they call it the Black Forest, that's a real forest. That's Germany. It's okay, to really understand it, since it wasn't Germany today, it's not Germany then. It's not, I'm just saying that so you got a kind of idea of what it is. But it's actually Odin and Thor, Odin's son, and Loki and them. It's those people who worship them. That was their god. They still have the hammer and all that. That god still has worshipers. And they don't love him or worship Thor and Odin no less than you worshiping white Jesus. They love him the same like you love Jesus. Right? It's like you'll be in America and you'll be acting like your God that you bear witness to is the only true and living God, and everybody else's God, if they ain't got your God, that shit ain't no real God. That's what they teach, right? In the old days, they didn't do that because they was all up there worshiping the real thing, because it was the European wasn't running it. When the original people was running it, they was giving you the real shit. Maybe they called it different name, but it was still the principles, morals, right? But y'all not running it now. Lambsville was just getting back this, only running their own self. Right? You only been out of Jim Crow since 1965 on the paper, and like 1972, like physically. It's not that long ago. People are still alive that was born in 1972. See, it ain't that far. They can still run. People who was born in 1972 can run fast. That tells you that ain't been that long ago. So if the people who had the children of the 1972 children, they had to be more like 62, 52. They should have been born like from the 52s. So the 52-year-old people could easily have 72-year-old children. In other words, they was born in 1952 and their children was born in 1972. Those people. See what I'm saying? So what if you was like not 1955 but 1945 and you had 1965 children? Right? So you had children and you was all in Jim Crow. During that, if you were in the 50 states, you was in Jim Crow. See? That's real talk. You just got to see for you what the setup is. And then, remember, during the 60s, you was coming up. James Brown, everybody was I'm black and I'm proud. You had afros. There's some beautiful pictures when you go back and look at all those naturals and all them sisters. They wasn't wearing this, and they was modest, and the original people was close then. They was, man, they had the Holy Four in the Holy Trinity. They had that. They had man, woman, child. It was like a nuke, like they was into that. And they had the other one is man, woman, boy, girl. They had that. That, not that they didn't have more than those children. They might have had 12 girls or whatever and 14 boys. But I'm saying the Holy Four is man, woman, boy, girl. And the Trinity, man, woman, child. So they had that. And when you have that, even though you might have been missing everything else, the genetic code doesn't get lost because you keep the structure. Well, they made sure that you got smashed up in that. They smash you up in other things each century, but that's the last smash up. And with the Rockefeller schools and all that craziness going on, that's why you're in the dilemma and you can't figure out how to get out, and you won't bear witness to your real major players. Like, they'll dance and sing and love regular leaders, but they'll be afraid when you start talking about split hoof and chew a cud. Oh man, they don't want to do that because they don't want to come off the vibration that you be on when you under the colonizer. That vibration, they want to stay there. Instead of saying, we got to come up to a law 360, which that only the gods would know that lesson, a law 360. But that principle, that way of changing the vibratory initiation fee that you pay by going low or high, you pay. The bill comes due. See, like, it's just like I told them. That's why I said no grain, starch, soy, dairy, sugar, because the bill comes due when you hit about 35. When you're paying it, when you're at 35, you don't know you're paying it, but you're paying it. By the time you hit 38 to 42, you'll know you was paying that bill, because now they want a balloon payment in the form of diabetes or hypertension or some shit like that. Arthritis, whatever debilitating diseases they got. Now, it might be some crazy shit. I just don't want to throw it out there like that, but it could be any of that. You know, any of them things that they got right now that's going rampant in America. You know, all those different diseases like the cancers and all that. That shit's knocking people out the box. But I mean, it ain't doing much damage to the population control. Like 4 billion, 400 million, shit don't hurt it. If you look it up, you go and look how many births versus deaths, you'll say, whoa, that shit ain't putting a dent in it. Nah, you ain't gonna be able to do it that way. What's killing off what's putting a dent in a lot of it is abortions and civilian killing civilians. Is not even a war. They just think it's a war because they're in the Matrix. That does a lot, but the most thing is the abortions. You get more babies killed or more people killed because the people got the head people got the minor people thinking that air particles in a clot of blood attach itself to the uterus wall is not a baby. Once they got them saying, it ain't really a baby till it come out and you slap it on the bum bum and it cry. They made you think that just fucked it all up because you think that you ain't in that one cell when air particles in a clot of blood attach itself to the uterus wall. Before it attaches itself to the uterus wall, as soon as the sperm and the egg ignite, you get the fuck in there. You can't get in there if the holy four ain't right. Fire, air, water, earth. If those four ain't right and exact, you, the thumb, see that's how it goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't get in there, and you can't. Anything happen to one of those four, you getting the hell up out of that physical composition. That you can guarantee. If the water leave, you're done. Right? The air ain't right, you're the fire, damn right. Throw your ass in some cold ass water, you get exposure, you go to sleep and die. You outside cold, fire gone, you dead. I don't let the air in. It ain't the air that you hold in your breath. That ain't shit. That's not what's fucking you up. When you let that out, if you don't let no more in, it's a wrap for you. See? So, that's all. Once y'all get those concepts, you hit the next level. Then when you understand that, no, I'm telling you, food is very important. Like, that's like one of the major jewels. Like, don't throw them 12 Jews away. Don't listen to that, dog. Because them 12 Jews is off the chain. I don't care where they came from. Those are essential to run a infrastructure. You need those 12 Jews to run your infrastructure as a whole nation. You need them. You need them. And they're in 120, so don't get rid of that. Just tell yourself where it came from. You know where it came from, but it don't mean it ain't right and exact. See what I'm saying? Like that. Roll like this, like the actual facts. Actual facts and solar facts is way more than what we see physically in the degrees. Way more. We gonna throw all those away too? No, those are part of the manifestation of the what is being made manifest, and that you can't see it, like seen in the unseen, or the ones that are not being told, right? But these are lessons that are being taught, but there's also lessons that are not being taught because you ain't ready as a people for that. You can't get past your food yet. See what I'm saying? You ain't dealing with food, clothing, and shelter. You don't run that. That you can't. Okay. If you know what you're eating, you could change the whole physical composition in no time. In no amount of time, our whole thing would change. If you deal with the morals and principles that come from knowledge, wisdom, understanding, freedom, justice, and equality, when you deal with that and you have the man, woman, child, she's not going to do the same thing as a daughter and only a mommy in the house as when the man is there. Everything's going to change. Dude come to visit your daughter and he figure out it's only a mommy daughter in the house. He's either going to be noble and try and still move in and make moves as a man and like, well, I'm going to be the man of the house because there ain't none here. Or he going to be I'm the man and take over and not be right and exact. It's going to be one of the two, higher self or lower self, right? And so, but if there's a dude in there, it changes the whole manifestation. Only dudes can check dudes. You can believe that. Chicks can't check you. Check a dude to check a girl. I'm in a dude. Like, a dude. Like, if you got a girl and a son, and daddy's there, he can check both of them easy. She can't. So it ruins the nuclear. They wanted that. They tell you, oh, I'm the mom and the dad. How? You only got 2 exes. You ain't the daddy. I don't give a fuck. Well, go down. He could be mommy and daddy, but you can't. Because he's X and Y. He's both. He has it. He can give her an X, and he can give her a Y. What are you giving? You only give an X. I don't care if it's Earth or Moon. You still coming up with the same X. You're the mitochondria woman. Right? He's the seed. The seed belonged to the original man, even though they even got everybody gassed up saying it's hers. How is it yours? You're the vessel that carried it. It ain't yours. Seed belonged to him. All the babies belong to him. Man, woman, child, all belong to him. You better check that. That's why our shit fucked up. We don't got the right order. We run around here acting like we in Sodom and Gomorrah for fucking real. Shit's going crazy. We losing it. At this rate, shit, it'd be another C note. We gotta let all these motherfuckers here in this generation, this, from where we at right now, today, wherever you at today when you hearing this, go back 100 years, right? If you go back 100 years, you'll start noticing that the people back there ain't here. But when you go forward, you're gonna see the people that's here right now with you, they ain't gonna be here. Because every 100 years on Earth, the whole population changes. All 4 million, they all change. They don't be the same people anymore. So that's why you got a chance to advance yourself and make moves, because there's not that much time on Earth for them to keep you in bondage. They have to pass it forward. You got to pass your math forward. You can't keep passing the way you eat as original people in the world. You can't keep passing that forward. That shit is the worst. Y'all, you killing us. That's what we killing ourselves, because we don't deal with food, clothing, and shelter right and exact no more. Morals, principles, poison. Our higher self and lower self, done. Our higher teachings and our lower teachings, the worst, done. We ain't got it together. And get mad if we say that. Like if we say that to us, that our shit is wrecked. Like, y'all gotta get it together. Y'all are worse. You got the European telling you whatever he's telling you about spirituality, and then he passed that tray around and tell you in God we trust. And I see a bunch of colonizers on the money. You're killing me with this. So that's all I'm saying. So see how that grain took all of that? Because you eating nothing but sugar, you're on drugs. And I'm out. Divine understanding, born light, you know what we do, set the record straight, ain't you know, free Asiatic. Son of man, son, treat me like no rapper.